Alright guys, so I have cut out the bottom piece. We took out the circle, that was easy, and then I ended up only cutting the 2 outside rows, and that was it. So we've left that there, and that fits on there nicely. So what I wasn't sure of actually is the top of the reactor. This is the top here. It sits like that at the top. So I'm going to take out the foam insert. I'm going to cut the second screen, and I'm actually going to run it underneath the red insert. In the reactor, the foam actually sits on top here, like that. Again, sorry for the light here, guys. The foam sits on the top there, like that. So I'm going to run it with the insert underneath. So we'll come back to that, and we'll get that reactor set up with the screens. Okay, so we are done with the screens, and really very simple job. Anybody could do it, really, as long as you got a decent pair of scissors. I found these cuticle scissors, I think they're called, or I don't know, whatever they are, to be much better than your standard kitchen scissor, because the holes are so small. Having the fine scissors definitely helped. The original intention was to run the screen underneath the red piece here. I'm not too sure what to call it. Actually, everything fit to bed more easily when I ran the screen above it, so that's why I went with that. So next thing to do is to put some pearls in. So I'm just going to read you what it says on the back of the Dr. Tim's Aquatics pearls jar, whatever you want to call it. This is the 900 mils quantity, and it treats up to 300 gallons. So use 3 mils of pearls per 1 gallon of aquarium water. That's the equivalent of 1 cup. A quarter of a cup treats 20 gallons. So it also recommends to use a small quantity of pearls at first, adding more over time. So, and it also says that it may take 2 to 4 weeks for the process to start. Replenish the pearls every 6 to 9 months. This costs $90. So I think that is extremely good value for the sake of 6 to 9 months worth. I'm going to be dosing at first half dose, so it's going to be 3/4 cups for my tank. It's 160 gallon quantity for the tank, not including the sump. So we would do 4 half cup. Well, 5 technically, actually, if we're going to be specific about it. But I'm only going to do 2.5 of these to start off with. So let's go ahead and fill that up, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, here we go. So I put in enough pellets for 120 gallons of water. For a tank that's got a total volume of between 180 to 190 gallons, including the sump, I think that would be about right. Just a little bit over is okay. So that was 3 half cup scoops of the pearls, and that's where we're at in the 550, so that's not too bad at all. So the next thing that I'm going to go over with you is the return from the reactor to the back into the sump. Some of you may or may not have seen the LA Fish Guy video on biopellets. If you are considering biopellets, I can't recommend that video enough. Jim Stein goes and visits Reef Dynamics, and that guy at Reef Dynamics had 2 fantastic videos, one on protein skimmers and one on biopellets, and he's very informative, very educational, and it's probably the best video out there that I've seen on biopellets. What he did in his reactor, with his reactor, for the return back into the sump made so much sense. I can't believe you guys out there who have biopellets aren't doing it yourselves, because it's so simple, providing you have the right design of skimmer, that is, and pump feeding that skimmer. What he did is he ran his return line from the reactor to a T-valve here. So let's pretend that this is where the line comes in from the reactor. So we have the reactor hose coming from here into this point here of the T-valve. On this point of the T-valve here is the skimmer intake, or the skimmer pump intake. Here is where the water comes in from the sump. So I've noticed a lot of people and a lot of websites recommend having the return line from your reactor ending close to the intake of the skimmer. Well, why not do it this way? Everything leads directly into the skimmer. So that's what I'm going to do. So we've got the flexi hosing there, we've got all the adapters that I need, we've got the Teflon, we've got the PVC pipe cement, so we should be good. Alright, so here we are down at the sump. As you can see, the reactor's quite big, so we're most likely going to put it in on that side there. Here is the Mag 9. You have to excuse the reflection there, guys, sorry about that. I'm doing this in the middle of the afternoon, so the sun's quite bright. But there is the Mag 9, and we're going to plumb the T-valve directly onto that guy there. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the skimmer, which we can do here. There we go. Back to normal. Also, you may or may not be able to see, but we also have the maxi jet in there already. There he is there. Again, sorry about the light, not brilliant. So that's the pump that we're going to be using for the reactor, the maxi jet 1200. The reactor, I'm hoping, is going to sit just here. I'm not even going to need to have it hanging off the sump either. So it's going to sit in there like that. So there's lots of room. And easy access too for me, which is what I like. I got to say though, as I go through working with this tank, I'm very much looking forward to starting afresh and doing another tank in the next couple of years or so. Anyway, we'll come back to that later. So, alright, we will start the plumbing and I'll come back to you guys in just a second.